Obviously, I think he had 27 points, 19 rebounds, 11 assists that game,
Yes.
but he had 9 turnovers. Uh,
Yep.
his body language, I felt, was a little bit better than Game 5. Tell me what you think about him, the team, in Game 6.
Well, the rest of the team, it looked like they were a little bit better. LeBron was too, but again, he was, he was still a little bit off that game. I'm thinking he had one foot out the door in that game as well. I mean, yeah, he put up big numbers, but at the end of the game, and this has been talked about as well, we were down by 7 points, I think, and like a couple minutes, now a minute left, and Mike Brown was shouting at the bench to commit a foul, but LeBron just sort of looked around his teammates, just sort of waved his hand back, sort of shook his head like, hey, don't bother, we lost this game. And I don't care what people say. There is when you're down by, if you're not down by double digits, there is always a chance to get back in the game by fouling. And the opposing team, they're going to have 5 players on that court. One of them is not. One of them is going to be the worst free throw shooter. Wait till the ball's in their hands or hack the guy and send them to the line. Try your best to get back in that game. But LeBron just sort of waved everybody off. He's like, hey, you guys, don't, series is over. I've never seen that out of any great player ever. And I really wasn't surprised seeing that after Game 5. And I tell you what, after Game 6 was ended, I thought for sure LeBron was out of here. I did not think he would be back. From his performance in Game 5, his actions in Game 6. All through both of those games too, you saw LeBron snapping back at his coaches, just disrespecting them. And then the way he took his jersey off after the Game 6, after seeing all that, I thought to myself, there's no way he's coming back.
Yeah, I felt the same way, man. And I was just so disappointed because for everybody obviously knows I was a big LeBron James fan, and I followed the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 7 years that he was there, and I never seen him do what he did in Game 5 and Game 6. I'm just like a regular fan when I watch it on TV. I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff, but there was definitely, I felt like there was something going on. Now, once the season was over, and then the big blockbuster bonanza summer started.
Sure.
What were your feelings about LeBron James' whole process as far as him meeting with the teams downtown Cleveland? What were your thoughts on that, and what were the media, the local media, radio, and everything else talking about LeBron James meeting the teams downtown?
Well, we thought it was kind of ridiculous. It seemed like he was having such, a great time with it. He was just soaking in the whole experience. So just, basically using it to have a good time, be courted by all these guys. And, I have no problem with him holding the meetings here. I mean, this is his home. He can do that if he wants to. But, still, though, a lot of people were really miffed at him, not saying anything, keeping everybody in the dark, not the Cavs organization itself. We didn't know anything. I mean, people just most people, everybody was hoping. I mean, we weren't giving up hope that he'd stay, but I myself, I did. I thought he was out of here for sure. But a lot of people, they were, including the media. I mean, everybody sort of turned a blind eye to his behavior. He's had questionable behavior the whole time he's been here. But as always, they turned a blind eye to it because he was LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, he was the reason that we were significant again. And I don't think people minded it all that much that he was going about free agency the way he was going about it.
Yeah. Now tell me about that. Let's touch on the behavior stuff. You said that there was some questionable behavior. Tell us some things that he would do, or special treatment he would get because he was LeBron James.
Well, when it came to special treatment, I mean, they basically gave the franchise to him, man. The keys were handed to him. I mean, especially when Gilbert took over, it was basically LeBron's house. Just he did what he wanted to in practice. He treated the coaches how he wanted to. In games, he'd goof around. You saw the dancing. I mean, he would never talk to any local media at all. He would love to sit down and talk with ESPN and all those guys, but he never did any local radio shows. Like I said, you could visually tell that he did not really respect any coach he had at this time. He wanted every game to be in his control. He wanted it to be his team. He had his nicknames, the King and what have you. Just little things that nothing that serious. I mean, he was a very intelligent guy for how young he was. He always stayed out of trouble. But then you had all these little things, and we sort of turned a blind eye to it because, what I said earlier, he was LeBron James. He was our savior, the quote-unquote king. That stuff. I mean, it bothered me that our own star player was doing this stuff. But then again, we were winning, so I didn't care.
Like, what kind of stuff was he doing? Like, what little things was he doing?
We there were a lot of stories. Now this is not verified, but I work with a dude whose brother works for the Cleveland Police Department, and they've had complaints about him just going to restaurants, ordering a ton of stuff, never tipping. He'd bring his kids to the restaurants and just let them goof around, screw around, do basically anything they wanted to. And again, like I said, this is not verified, but they would make big messes and stuff, and nobody ever did anything about it because, like I said, it was LeBron James. He basically ran the whole franchise the way he wanted to, and he had a big input on who was brought here. Getting his friends jobs, all just things like that. Nothing too serious, but again, people wanted just they didn't want to believe it, or they didn't think it was that bad and overlooked it.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. So let's continue on with the summer. Now, once he met with the teams, and then he met with the Cleveland Cavaliers last. How was he? How was his communication with the Cleveland Cavaliers organizations once he met with the Cavs brass downtown Cleveland? What was his communication like with the franchise? Because I'm hearing rumors that the team tried to contact him. He wasn't answering the phone. I mean, what's the real scoop on LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers communication after they met downtown?
Well, according to Dan Gilbert, the team was not able to get a hold of him. His Maverick Carter, he called the team once in a while on his own time. They never really got back to the Cavs when they wanted to talk. They just basically talked on their own terms, and it wasn't anything big. It was the same old, oh, LeBron is still thinking, he's still considering this. But then again, he wouldn't really talk to, when we were considering getting Tom Izzo. I mean, we tried calling him. Tom Izzo tried calling him. But LeBron never even got back to us on that the whole time that Izzo thing was going on. And basically, we got about as much information as everyone else did. A big, we don't know yet.
Wow. Okay. So once he announced that he was going to do the decision and the whole decision process, tell me your thoughts and the city's thoughts on how he announced he was going to do the decision, when he did the decision, and what were you thinking right before he made the actual choice and what he said, and what was the city like after he made it?
Well, I thought that going on TV for an hour was a complete joke. A lot of people around here did. But it did give me a tiny sliver of hope that maybe he would stay. If he's going on TV for an hour, then he's not going to come on here and say, no, Cleveland, I'm not going to stay. I really thought he would not do that. People, everybody around here, they watched it, obviously. And I was thinking right before, even though I was sure he was gone, I did watch the show, and there was a little bit of apprehension in me, and it was building slowly up until the point of when he said he was taking his talents to South Beach, and then it came crashing down hard. I really didn't know I had that much apprehension in me the way it crashed down afterwards, and obviously, we all saw how people reacted here. It's like all their attitudes towards LeBron had just turned a corner right then and gone the opposite way. I mean, people hated the guy. They were just put everything bad about the dude that we didn't like. We were suddenly pointing out all the time with no problem. The city was just, man, we were down. We were down to the point where we did not, we weren't thinking of what he did here. We had to have people remind us, what the dude did here for 7 years, and I'll never cease to appreciate what he did. But right after the decision was made, it was really hard for me to remember and appreciate and respect that. The way he handled the whole free agency thing, the hour-long special, and the way he handled free agency as a whole.
Yeah. What were you feeling right before he said it, and then right after he said it? I mean, give me your thoughts on just like you said, the anticipation of him saying it. Were you nervous? And then how'd you feel right after he said it?
Well, I was mostly nervous, but I was also right before half it. I was pretty hopeful, man. It all came at once, like right when he asked him. I forget what the announcer guy said specifically, but right after he said that, and LeBron's opened his mouth, I was just like, okay, here it is, man. Okay, here it is. He's gonna stay. When I was so sure he wasn't leaving, I was nervous, excited, and then right after he said it, and it wasn't after he said South Beach. It was after he said join the Miami Heat. When it just came crashing down inside me, and I was like, no, man, it really happened. LeBron James is gone. our team. I mean, well, what are we going to do? Oh man, it was really tough to take in. After I was so sure the dude was gone, but after the way I felt, it was like I was hoping the whole time, just hoping to God, sure he was coming back. It was very surprising to me.
And my heart goes out to you and the Cavs fans. And I remember I made a video right after that because I was nervous watching it too. And I remember when Jim Gray said it. He said, "LeBron, what's your decision?" And LeBron said, "In this fall." And then he said, "Man, this is tough." And he looked down. When he said that, that's when I knew he wasn't going. He wasn't staying in Cleveland because it wouldn't have been tough to stay in Cleveland. But I actually thought when I got up that morning, I actually thought when they said, the decision and everything else, they're going to do it. I said, there's no way, just like you said, Isaiah, there's no way LeBron James is going to go on national TV and say, I'm leaving Cleveland. I never thought he did. But when he did, I was shocked just like you.